biggest problems facing Bangalore today? Second problem? Traffic. Third problem? No, mosquitoes. How many of you spend more than 1 hour or more going to work or college every day? It's extremely stupid, right? You could be using that time to be with your family, or at least even by yourself, if you don't like your family. And you could do so many things. So, what we have not realized is that anything with an internal combustion engine, whether it's a bike or a car, they're actually monsters. And who have an insatiable appetite for feeding on you. You think you're using them, but they're monsters. They will never go away if you do not take a... So I started thinking, how can we fix this problem of traffic in the city? There's only one way. You've got to get rid of the monsters. So what do you know about Bangalore? Right? If you look at, it is probably the fastest increasing population of almost any city in the world today. Look at the difference between just 2012 to 2000, when the official census came, it was 9.6 million. We've already gone crazy, another 3 million people added. And if you look at the early 2000s, hold on. But has the road surface increased? No. The road surface is still about 10 or 12,000 kilometers, which is about 8 to 10% of the total city is now a road. So we cannot have, if we keep endlessly widening the road to cater to vehicles, there may be only roads left in future and no buildings, like the drain demolition that's going on. I think you have to smash half of Bangalore if you start looking at unauthorized drains or... The same thing will happen if we keep widening roads. So obviously that's not a solution, right? Look at that crazy graph. I mean, in the last, from 2005 to 2016, that could, I think, little bit of tweaking, it will become a vertical line. Every day, about close to, I think now, this is 2012 data, I think like 1,600 new vehicles are entering Indian Bangalore streets. My real fear, or maybe my real prayer, is that one day there will be such a big traffic jam that nothing can ever move again. And you have to, cut it open with gas welding torches or something. That's it. After that, we only have to walk. Everything will just freeze, and that's the end of traffic in Bangalore. That's what will happen if it goes on like this. The vehicle lobby in India, they're all, please remember, even the biggest groups of India, the Tatas or the Bajaj, or what, they're all into the automobile industry. Right? And there's a vested interest to keep the automobile industry going. I started asking a question, why do you need it at all? What if we can imagine a world where there are very few vehicles? You need vehicles, I'm not saying they're bad, all of them are bad, but why do you need so many, and why do you need, and each car, if you see in Bangalore, there's only one guy driving it. Why do they have 4 seats? Nobody remembers. Even a bike, you see there's only one guy riding it. There are 2 seats on a bike. Everybody wants to have a much bigger thing than the capacity for themselves. And all of us are guilty. There's not one person in this room will say, I don't do it. What people don't realize is, at a very slow speed, an automobile emits 5 times as much pollutants as it is when it's going at the speed it's designed to be going. If the average speed is 60-70 kilometers an hour, it's emitting only that much. As it slows down, the combustion engine, all of you are many of you are engineers, know that the efficiency drops dramatically and more pollution is coming out of it. So it's a double whammy. Not only do we have bad traffic, we have rotten air pollution, and because of that you have a public health problem because of rising respiratory illnesses, other congestion issues, maybe even leading to cancers and things like that, which is a serious issue. But that's the whole point. They seem to be seeing the point at all, right? And this is what we get in India, a caste system. The bus guy will try to push the car guy will try to hassle the bike guy will hassle the pedestrian, and the pedestrian doesn't know what to do. He tries to kick a dog, but the dog comes to bite him back. It's just frustrating, right? It's impossible to, this is not a tenable situation going forward, and all of you realize, so everybody says what to do. Okay, let's build more flyovers. Flyovers in a city are required only in 3 places. Across a river, then it's called a bridge. Where a ring road meets an arterial road, which is a definite issue because you don't want 2 streams of traffic to hit each other, or over a railway track, because railway will not build flyover. You understand? Train will go straight. That's all. You have to go above it or under it. So, no other, long ago, I was with the earlier chief ministers of Karnataka, and they had planned 42 flyovers in the city in the year 2001. And he had just come back from New York after attending some United Nations thing. And I asked him, he said 43 flyovers, grand plan, 2,000 crore. Everybody is already salivating at that number, lots of money and all that stuff. And I said, you came back from New York City. New York City has a population of, like Bangalore, it's a 1 crore population, very dense. How many flyovers are there in the city of New York? Nil. Okay, remember that, 0. Do you think that has any less traffic than Bangalore, or is it better managed? They'll say, no, it has underground. Okay, maybe it has, but not even one flyover. They have one which goes under the river. It's called a tunnel. And they have one which goes across the river, that's called Brooklyn Bridge or something. So there is no flyover inside. All the Western countries are breaking it, and we are stupidly following the US model by getting more private vehicles, trying to, becoming a slave to the, to the automobile, and rather not understanding that there may be an Indian way to solve this problem, which nobody ever thought of, right? So look at the modal split in Bangalore. All of this I know is a bit of hard data and numbers, but you cannot understand this problem unless most of it is two-wheelers. And two-wheelers, sorry to say, are like cockroaches. If they can get their front wheel in, they feel that they can somehow go and get ahead of everybody else. You go on a footpath, you do, and the first picture showed you that. And because of this modal split, even more delays and damage happens because nobody allows the other guy to go. In India, it's not important to be first. It's always important to be 1 inch ahead of the guy behind you. Right? So what does all this junk add up to? What is the impact on your life? Air pollution index in Bangalore is not so bad yet, but it's 4 times permitted limits already. All right, suspended particulate matter, 3 to 4 times. What else is the problem? The noise, guys honking. The decibel levels in Bangalore are crossing 80, 90 dB when it is supposed to be 60, 70 dB. 55 dB is a normal, quiet, but it's almost double that, and it's very cacophonic. And if you sit there's a traffic jam outside where you live or where you work, the noise of the horns just drives you crazy, right? And etc. That last one, all the politicians and bureaucrats like the last one because that's an opportunity to spend lots of cash. Nobody asks, if you say flyover is 25 crore, nobody blinks. If you say I'm building a building 25 crore, really? That's a lot of money and all that. But we lose track of what money is, and a lot of money goes down the drain here. That one on top, we all like parks, but why do we call a place where you put cars parking? No, there's some problem there, right? And the word parks are great. We all want more parks, but these guys are they're covering up areas of the city as dead real estate, where you could be walking or hanging around, or maybe flowers growing instead. And there's dead cars all over the place, and we don't charge anything in Bangalore for parking, which is again a wrong thing to do. Of course, accident rates. Suppose you have to go somewhere quickly, will you bother with app, GIP and all that? What do? You'll go catch an auto and go. Correct, no? But autos are a pain. They will refuse to come. They're not good in all kinds of weather. Sometimes they behave badly. They don't go where you want to go. If you want, I am going, you can come kind of attitude. But what if, the Uber guy never tells you that. No? The Uber guy always, Ola guy says, he doesn't even ask you where you want to go. It's already there on the app. You just get in, just go somewhere, and it drops you in front of your house. So why do we have this Uber and Ola and all are only accessible through apps? And there are only 100 million smartphones in India. And the common person still does not even have many of them have a hand phone, but nobody has all this. Why not just stick your hand out and say, stop, I want to go somewhere? Why is the taxi system not available in this city? There are various political and business competition reasons, but I think this needs to be overthrown. Why? Because it actually solves every single thing. We have to now remember to call taxis as public transport. That is the fundamental shift in thinking. Taxis are no longer some private business. What if you reimagine taxis as the fund? It's quite a crazy idea because it's never been tried anywhere in the world. Everybody keeps trying to build more and more infrastructure, or Singapore tries to put congestion taxes, stuff like that, which people don't like paying, etc., etc. And in India, if you add any more taxes, people will start screaming now. So how do you do it without doing that? So look at the cost of running various things in the city. A bus costs a lot of money to run. Okay? The fare is fairly low. See, an ordinary car, a private taxi or this thing is you're only traveling about 25 kilometers a day. When you take out your car or two-wheeler, going and coming is about 10 to 12 kilometers. Going back also is about 10 to 12 kilometers. That's all. That's the average. But a taxi runs 200 and odd kilometers a day. A single day it runs about 200 kilometers. That means it's going almost 9 to 10 times more than you. 9 times at least more than you take out your private car. So it doesn't sound like a great idea, but go home and think about it actually. So, okay. So one taxi replaces 10 two-wheelers, it replaces 8 cars and also 2 autos. Right? Now assume a scenario where we add something like close to 6 lakh taxis in a graded steps of 2 lakh each in a city across the next 1 year. 80% of private cars which is 10 lakh cars. 35 lakh two-wheelers, and all the 100% of autos, you make them into taxi drivers and send all the autos off to some mofussil areas. We don't want autos anymore, no? Let somebody else have it. Get rid of them all as an exchange scheme and an upgrade scheme. Right? And you also put GPS, you put all the goody stuff, all the fixed fare logic. Okay? The number of vehicles in Bangalore will reduce by 4.2 million. It's right now, it's like 42 lakh vehicles will disappear. Think about it. It's a mathematical calculation. I know it sounds very idealistic and all that, but you need something like this rather than, okay, suddenly the graph will look like that. And we'll go back to some 2005 level. It was okay, 2005 the city was reasonably all right. You could get around within about half an hour to anywhere. Right? I'm not counting all the trucks and all that stuff. And also triple or quadruple the number of buses. Right? So what will happen? They'll say, what I'm saying is you have to also subsidize this taxi to less than a two-wheeler, and whatever the extra is, the government has to pay as a freebie. You don't make it totally free. Make it like, so the rise in public health, the congestion laws recovered, all the extra space that we can have, what I call footpath widening scheme instead of road widening scheme. Make all the footpaths a little wider. And also the amount of CO, we also have a green piece to it. The number of carbon monoxide and dioxide emissions will reduce drastically. Of course, the state taxes fuel a lot. There's going to be losses because of that. But these are all notional losses. The gain in environmental quality, the brownie points that you get of having thought of something no other city in the world has thought of, saying that the entire transport of the city is run by public taxis. The new word, they are not private taxis. But we have bad news. Just when we thought we were coming out of the water, people are listening to us, we are getting tender sure. The amount of money from Chalukya Circle to Mekri Circle, they are going to build this flyover. This is 1800 crore. Again, for the car industry and for VIP, it's a very elitist project in my opinion. Just to make people easier to make people go to the airport. The airport gets 1 million passengers a year. Do you know how much Kempegowda bus station gets every year? 5 million people. And not 1 rupee they will spend there. These are all, I would rather upgrade Kempegowda bus station and that city station area where 50 lakh people go there. Rather than the airport is okay, we can manage a little bit, it's not so bad. Leave a little early, it's not going to, once we have taxis, you can get there still in 45 minutes. So you don't need this kind of heavy duty project, but we all know why these projects are also brought up. This is a nexus which is happening, which has to be broken. And these are the reasons why Bangalore continues to get more and more jammed up. My real dream is that we go away from this vehicle-centered mentality to a pedestrian-centered mentality and a simple low-cost public transport solution for the city which will solve our existing problem. Thank you.